We'll be creating an orthographic drawing of the crossfeed stop from problem set 3. This will be the first time that we are making a dimensioning note for rounds and fillets. This text needs to match in font size and style with all of our dimensions. When dimensioning radius or arcs, we have to use our radius dimension tool. When dimensioning holes or complete circles, we are dimensioning with the diameter tool. Drill is another term for diameter. This one is also in fractions. Being that this one is in fractions, we are going to change to a fractional decimal, from decimals to fractional input. And we need to be at 1/16 of an inch precision. Our lowest denominator here is a 1/16 of an inch. This is like changing the number of decimal places. Top, front, and right side views at a scale of 1 to 1, hidden lines, and center marks. Should look something like this. We are going to create a drawing from this design. You're kidding me. So with a scale of 1 to 1, hidden lines are turned on. My front view is my first view that I'm putting in here. Lower left-hand corner. I'm going to project the top, right side, and isometric. The isometric, scale down to a scale of 2 to 3 as a solid or shaded with edges. Spacing between the views, centering in the title block, center marks, center lines for the holes in all 3 views. Dimensions. Linear dimension. Overall length, overall width. Overall height actually is not given. It is the distance from this center to the edge. So now we have put a couple dimensions in. Take a look at this change happen all at once. Instead of being in a decimal format, we are going to change to fractional at a 1/16 of an inch precision. And hit OK. All these dimensions that are now in decimals will change to fractional dimensions. Stay here with our linear dimensions. The height of the base material, dimension in between the arrowheads, and the thickness, which is 7/16. This cutout on the bottom, your right side view, really is about the only place that you can take this one. And in between the arrowheads. You could measure the distance of the gap. I prefer them to be symmetrical. And in between the arrowheads. The depth of the cut can actually be done here. This is an object line at 1/8 of an inch. This 1/8 of an inch will not fit in between the arrowheads because they're stacked, being in a fractional input. By these being concentric, we do not need to make a measurement of the distance from center to center. radius dimension tool and diameter dimension tool. If you do not have these pinned to your toolbar, I would recommend that you do so. Radius, radius, and radius. Diameter for the holes. We cannot assume that the feature is centered. We will need to take a dimension for this. Even though that we are breaking a dimensioning rule by bringing an extension line through an object, our other option is to place this here in the top. I can move it. Either way, you're breaking dimensioning rules. Wouldn't be really bad either way. We cannot assume that the feature is centered. We need a dimensioning note. Just like you're seeing on the problem sets, your casting rounds and fillets are given in a note to the side. All we are going to do is create a text box. This is on your dimensioning rules that we are using a 0.1 inch text height. I prefer it to be center justified. And we are just typing in all capital letters, rounds and fillets, or fillets and rounds, are a radius. And we have to keep the same fractional input, 1/8. If you hit spacebar afterwards, it will turn into a fraction. This needs to be in this upper right hand corner, not interfering with any dimensions or any parts of the drawing. I'm just double checking. Alright. At the title block, this is the cross feed stop. Your name's in here, units, and SI, because it was in inches, scale of 1 to 1 for the top front and right side view. And this will be due on next Thursday, which is the 12th. Done editing the title block. View spacing, alignment. I'll move these up a little bit. Center line, center marks. Looks good.